Hello dear students, today I will discuss part second of unit 7 D and F block elements. As in previous lecture I told you about the position of D block elements in periodic table, that is they are also known as transition element because they lie between most electropositive S block elements and between most electronegative P block elements. So that's why they are known as transition because they occurs in between two block. Then I also told you about general electronic configuration, that is n-1 d1 to 10 and ns 0 to 2. Then I also told you that ns0 configuration basically belong to the palladium, and I also told you about the sum variation shown by the D block elements. This is due to maybe half filled, full filled or nuclear electrons or electron forces. I have also given you example, that is chromium and copper do not follow the above principle. This is due to half filled and full filled electronic configuration of D orbitals. Then I also told you about the classification of D block elements. The D block elements are classified into 4 series. These series are named as first transition series, that is 3D series. They belong to scandium 2, zinc. Then I told you about the second transition series, that is 4D series. This contains element from yttrium to cadmium, that is element number 39 to 48. Then third transition series, that is also known as 5D series. This series contains lanthanum atomic number 57 and from atomic number 72 to 80, that is from hafnium to mercury. Then fourth transition series, that is also known as 6D series. This contains actinium atomic number 89 and then from rutherfordium to copernicium having the atomic number 1042112. I also told you about some general fact about D block elements in part 1. Now dear students, let us focus on the part 2. So after studying part 2, we will be able to know about atomic and ionic radii and their variation in group and periods. Basically, these variations you have to focus on period wise, not basically group wise. Then you will be able to know about atomic volume and density. Then you will be able to know some more general property belonging to the basically 3D series, that is explanation of MP and BP, metallic characters, color and magnetic property. So now let us focus on atomic and ionic radii. Before that, I want to tell something about transition elements. If the member belonging to a given transition series do not differ so much from one another as those in representative elements, that is S block and P block elements of same periods. This is due to in a transition series there is no change in, that is minimum change occurs in electrons of outermost shell, but only change occurs in n-1 d electrons from member to member in a period, that is horizontal row. Therefore, the general trends in properties are thus studied in the horizontal rows, that is in period of transition element. That is, here the property should be studied series wise, that is 3D series, 4D series, 5D series, that is period wise, not group wise. So now dear students, look the table. The table basically contains the element of 3D series, 4D series and 5D series with their atomic radius in picometer. Basically you have to focus on the element of 3D series because most of the questions in board examinations are arises from 3D series. So first of all, you have to know about the element name of 3D series. So the element name of 3D series is scandium, first element of 3D series, then titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper and zinc. Then you have to focus on the atomic radius. In NCERT, here given the metallic radius, but I given here atomic radius. So look the conditions of atomic radius. atomic radius first decreases from chromium, then from chromium to nearly approximate nickel. They have same or similar, you can say, value of atomic radius, and then from copper to zinc atomic radius increases. So that's why there is no general trends, and hence I told you that it is not easy to study the d block elements just like a p block and s block elements. Here some variations are shown that you have to focus while study the d block elements. Nowadays students, one more thing you have to notice down that in s and p block elements, down the group atomic radius increases. This is due to increase in number of cell. But look at here, when you come from 3D to 4D series, the down the group, the atomic radius increases. But from 4D to 5D series, the atomic radius are basically similar. So this is due to length-wide contraction. The atomic size of 5D series elements are similar to 4D series elements, but it should be increased just like p block and s block, but this not happen. So that's why these variations are take place, and this variation are you have to discuss in the term of length-wide contraction. So nowadays students, one more thing you have to notice down that कि open the NCERT book and come on the NCERT book table number 8.2. Here electronic configuration and some other properties of first series of transition elements are given. So you have to focus on these table and try to find the order increasing or decreasing either similar conditions, and also you have to find the region which I also explain here. So nowadays students, let us focus on the variation of atomic and ionic radii down the group or in a period. So first of all, you have to focus the variation of atomic radii in a given series, that is known as period. So look the table which I have given here. It decreases gradually from third to sixth group. That is third group belong to the scandium and sixth group basically belong to the chromium. So examples are also given, scandium to chromium. Now the region, you have to find the region. So then write the region like this: the increased nuclear charge make the atom to shrink in size, and hence the size of atoms decreases. Second points about the variation, the atomic radii value remain almost constant up to the element of group 11, that is, for example, from chromium to copper. Now you have to find the region. This is due to a screening effect caused by n-1 d electrons. The magnitude of nuclear charge decreases. As a result, the size of atom does not change from chromium to copper. So this I told you also in class 11 about the screening effect. That means कि as the electrons enter into d orbitals, one or more electrons are entering. So the last electrons are sealed by the inner electrons, which provide the protection from the effect of nucleus. So that's why here also the size, that is atomic radius, from chromium to copper is counterbalanced by nuclear charge effect. This is due to screening effect caused by inner d orbitals electron. Now third point, that is the last element of each series show an increase in atomic radius. Look again the table, that is zinc, cadmium and mercury. Zinc belong to the 3D series, the last element, and cadmium belong to the 4D series, last element, and mercury belong to the 5D series. This is also last element of 5D series. So again here, towards the end of each series, there is an increase in electron-electron repulsion. This is due to fulfilled orbitals between the electrons being added to 3D orbitals in case of 3D series. Because of all d electrons are paired, so thus increase in repulsion become greater than that of attraction between the nucleus and the 4s electron, hence size increases. So these are the region and their variation in a periods. Now come on the focus about the variation of atomic radii in a given group, that increases from top to bottom but it is found that here some regions are given. The atomic radii of second transition series, that is 4D series, are more than basically the radii of first transition series. So this is due to increase in number of cell, that is, as the number of electrons increases down the group, the number of cell also increases. Now second point, that is radii of second transition series is approximate equal to the radii of third transition series, and this is due to basically lengthen-wide contraction. So these are basically variation of atomic radii down the group and also from left to right. This is much more important for examination point of view. You have to notice down why the atomic radii increases, then constant, then decreases down the group, or either from left to right. This you have to focus on the region also. Now dear students, about the ionic radii. So as you know that atomic radii decreases along the period with increase in atomic number. This is due to increase in effective nuclear charge. One more thing you have to notice down that the atomic radius is directly proportional to effective nuclear charge. That means more the effective nuclear charge, less will be the atomic radius. But about ionic radius, I given one formula, that is ionic radius you can calculate is directly proportional to electron by atomic number. Or also you can say that the Z effective, that is effective nuclear charge, directly proportional to Z by E. Z is atomic number and E is the electron number. One more thing you have to notice down about the ionic radii, that is the ionic radii of basically 5D series and 4D series are similar. This is due to again lengthen-wide contraction. One more point you have to note it down about the ionic radius, that is more the charge on atom, less will be the ionic radius. That is, if Mn2 plus are given and Mn3 plus are given, and one asks that out of these which have more ionic radius, so less the positive charge on element, more will be the ionic radius. So that's why Mn2 plus is more have ionic radius than Mn3 plus. So like that Rn2 plus and Rn3 plus, the Rn2 plus is more in ionic size than Rn3 plus. Again this is due to more the positive charge, more the effect of nuclear charge, and hence less will be the atomic radii. So this can also calculate by formula of atomic radius. The atomic radius is directly proportional to number of electron divided by atomic number. So look, in the case of iron, atomic number similar, but electrons number in Rn2 plus is 24 and electron number in Rn3 plus is 23. So more the number of electrons, more will be the atomic radius. So by this way you can also find the ionic radius. So now dear student, let us focus on the second property, atomic volume and density. You know about the density, density equal to mass by volume. So look at here, the atomic volume of transition elements are much lower than those of their neighboring S and P block elements. This is due to the fact that in D block elements, the inner D orbitals, that is n-1 D orbitals, are filled. This lead to more nuclear pull, resulting in decrease in volume. Then second points, due to decrease in atomic volume, the density, that is mass by volume, of these elements increases. Therefore the transition elements have quite high density, and this increases from left to right in 3D series. Now following trends are observed among the densities of transition elements. So first, in a given series, the density increases across the series. Second points, the density increases down the group because the atomic size of element of second and third transition series, that is 4D and 5D series, is nearly same. Their atomic mass increases nearly twofold, and the densities of the elements of third series are generally twice those of corresponding elements of second transition series. So that is down the group the density increases. This is due to increase in atomic mass. Nowadays students, the lightest transition metals is scandium having the density 3.1 gram per centimeter cube, and the heaviest and densest transition elements is osmium and iridium. Osmium having the density 22.57 gram per centimeter cube and iridium have density 22.61 gram per centimeter cube. So this is all about the atomic volume and density. Nowadays students, third property, there is a melting point and boiling points. Here the melting points and boiling point depend upon the strong metallic bonding. So look at here, the melting points and boiling points of transition elements are generally very high due to the fact that these elements have strong metallic bonding between their atoms. As the number of unpaired electrons increases, the strength of metallic bond also increases, and hence melting point increases. So that means more the number of unpaired electrons, more will be the melting point and boiling points. As we move along a particular series, since the number of unpaired electrons increases up to chromium in first series, molybdenum in second series, and tungsten in third series, the melting point of elements also increases up to these elements and then decreases in a number of unpaired electrons. The melting point also decreases. This you can look from the NCERT figure 8.1. Nowadays students, since zinc and cadmium and then mercury do not have any unpaired electrons in d orbitals, therefore they have less metallic bonding, and hence the melting point are also lowest in their respective periods. Here the metallic point is so weak in mercury. This is basically belong to the liquid state. Zinc is also volatile metals. Cadmium is also volatile metal. This is also due to less metallic bonding. Nowadays students, let us focus on the metallic characters. So as you know that D block also contains metal, that is S block, D block and F block are totally metals. So nowadays students, all transition metals display typical metallic property. That means they show all the property which are basically belong to the metals. They having the SCP, CCP and BCC lattice. SCP means hexagonal close packing, CCP means cubic close packing, and BCC means body centered cubic close packing. This is basically study in solid state unit 1. Nowadays students, metallic bonding caused due to the presence of 1 or 2 electrons in outermost energy cell, that is NS, and also unpaired electrons in d orbitals. Now next property is color. This is also most important property of d block elements. So let us focus on the color. The most of the compound of transition elements are colored in the solid state or in solution phase. This is due to presence of unpaired electrons in their d orbitals, that is incompletely filled d orbitals. So now let us focus the complexes of d block elements, that is metals ion, are also colored except very often those of D0 and D10 metal ion, that is the configuration having D0 and D10 are colorless. Rest of the d block elements having D1 to D9 electrons are colorful. The color is due to either DD transition or charge transfer spectra. So now dear students, let us focus on the charge transfer spectra. So the electronic transition of d electrons within the d subcell. So these are known as DD transition. Look at here, D0 and D10 metals ion do not show D transition. Now look the example, scandium 3+, titanium 4+, vanadium 5+ have completely empty d orbitals, hence they are colorless, that is they have D0 electrons. Now similarly, copper plus, Ag plus, Au plus, Zn2 plus and Hg2 plus have completely filled d orbital, that is D10 electrons, and hence no vacant d orbitals for promotion of electrons, and hence these are also colorless. So that is, just you have to notice that D0 configuration and D10 configuration are colorless. That's why they do not show the DD transition. Now second region, that is known as charge transfer spectra. So the electronic transition from metal ion to the ligand, that is metal to ligand transition, or ligand to metal ion, that is ligand to metal transition, which are known as charge transfer transition, and these can occur for D0 to D10 metal ions. In that condition, they show the color, which is basically not according to DD transition. So look the example. MnO4 minus ion has an intense purple color in the solution due to charge transfer spectra. So first of all, look the charge on Mn. The Mn contains +7 charge, and this also contains 7 electrons in the outermost shell. So that's why no electrons in D orbitals, and hence this should be colorless. But here it has intense purple color. So this is due to charge transfer spectra. So now think about this. In Mn4 minus, an electron is momentarily transferred from oxygen atom to the metal, thus momentarily changing O2 minus to O minus and reducing the oxidation state of metal Mn7 to Mn+6. So that's why now Mn got 1 electron, that is D1 electrons, and now they show the DD transition. So this is due to charge transfer spectra, which create the color in Mn. Now students, next more points you noted down that is Cr2O7 2 minus is orange in color. CrO4 2 minus is also colorful. This is again due to charge transfer spectra. So you have to also focus about the charge transfer spectra in these compound. Now dear students, let us focus some more points. The ligand themselves may also be colored, and this color may be contributed to the color of the complex. Now look one example to better understand about the transition. So to explain the purple color of octahedral, that is Ti water का whole 6 and square bracket then 3 plus ion by DD electron transition. Now here the electronic configuration of Ti3 plus is, thus you can find the charge on Ti. Water have 0 charge, so that's why the total charge on the complex is belong to the titanium. In that condition, the electronic configuration of titanium is Ar, that is argon 18, and then 3d1 19. The atomic number of titanium is 22, and now 3 electrons are removed. So now this time the electrons are left at 19. So that's why you feel like this argon, and this contain 3d1 electrons. So look about the transition. In metal, when they are free, so they contains 5 d electrons, which are basically having the degenerate orbitals. That means having the same energy, but after attack of ligands, the energy of these orbitals increases, and now the splitting of d orbitals take place because the ligands approach from all sides. So that's why those orbitals belong to the axis having the more repulsion from the electrons of ligands and electrons of titanium. That's why they can break from the lower energy d orbitals like this and form two type of orbitals. The lower energy orbital is known as T2g orbitals, and high energy level is known as Eg orbitals. Now the T2g orbitals contain 3 orbitals and Eg contains 2 orbitals, and this is also known as DD transition. So now look at here, one electrons in the T2g according to a Bow principle. Now when the light absorbs, that light absorbs greenish yellow lights, so they have sufficient energy to carry out the transfer of electron from T2g to Eg. So now by observing the lights, the electron transfer from T2g to Eg, and this is known as DD transition. So by this way the compounds show the color. Now next thing you have to know about the complementary colors can be identified by Munsell color wheel. So look, the one color wheels are shown here: blue, B for blue, G for green, Y for yellow, O for orange, R for red, or V for violet. Here the complementary color of blue is orange, green is red, violet is yellow. So now look the table. This table contains color of the absorbed radiation, then range of wavelength of absorbed light, and then color of transmitted light. This is known as complementary light color to that of absorbed lights, that is shown by the Munsell color. So now let us focus on the color of absorbed radiations and the complementary color shown by the given compound or complex. So look at here, violet color absorbed having the wavelength range 4000 to 4500 angstrom. Now the complementary color shown by the compound is yellow green. Then a blue light, that is blue color or absorbed having the radiations range 4500 to 4800. The complementary color shown by the compound is yellow. Now when green color, that is green blue color are absorbed having the wavelength 4800 to 4900, the orange color will be complementary color. When blue green light is absorbed having the wavelength 4900 to 5000 angstrom, the red color is a complementary. When green color light is absorbed having the wavelength 5000 to 5600, then violet color almost purple color is complementary color. When yellow green color is absorbed having the wavelength 5600 to 5750, now the violet color is a complementary color. When yellow color having the wavelength 5750 to 5900, then blue color is complementary color. When orange color of absorbed radiation, the range of wavelength is 5900 to 6250, then the complementary color is green blue. When red color is absorbed having the wavelength range 6250 to 7500, now the blue green color is complementary of the given compound. So these are the basically complementary colors and their identification by Munsell color wheel. Now dear students, let us focus on the magnetic property. So this I also told you that this is due to presence of unpaired electrons or paired electrons. If all electrons are paired, so they are known as diamagnetic. If electrons are unpaired, so they are known as paramagnetic. That is D10 having configuration of diamagnetic, and rest D1 to D9 are basically paramagnetic. So now let us focus on the magnetic property. So most of the transition elements show paramagnetism. This is arises due to presence of unpaired electrons in either atom or ions or molecules of d block elements. Now in general, greater the number of unpaired electrons, greater is the magnetic characters, that is more will be the paramagnetic character. So the maximum paramagnetism is noticed in D5, that is having the half field configuration case which has maximum number of unpaired electrons. Now dear students, about the diamagnetic, this I also told you that they have paired electrons and are repelled by magnetic field, that is D10 having configuration are diamagnetic. Now let us focus on the example. When there are unpaired electrons in D subshell, so these will lead to paramagnetic characters. So thus in Cr, water का whole 6 and then square bracket 3 plus charge. So now these 3 plus charge is basically chromium, because water is neutral molecules, so that's why the charge belong to chromium. In that condition, the 3d electrons contains 3 electrons, that is the 3d electrons, it is basically D3 are unpaired, and like O2 molecules which is paramagnetic, so Cr3 plus, that is Cr3 given the Roman number oxidation is paramagnetic. Similarly, a D10 metal ion, that is zinc second, that is zinc 2 plus, have a filled D subshell, and a G0 metal ion, that is titanium 4, a Ti4 plus, have no d electrons. So neither of these can be paramagnetic, they may be diamagnetic. So dear students, by using this formula, you can get the value of magnetic moments if you know the number of unpaired electrons, and also you can find the number of electrons if you know the value of magnetic moment, that is mu. So sometime one question may be right like this: you calculate the spin only magnetic moment of Mn2 plus ions having the atomic number 27. So here M2 plus means the two electrons are less in atomic number, that 25. So first of all you have to write the electronic configuration, and then you have to find the number of electrons, that is unpaired electrons, and then put the value of number of unpaired electrons in this formula, and then find the value of magnetic moment. Are you getting this or not? Now dear students, come on the worked out example. The first, name the lightest and heaviest element in term of density among the transition elements. So your answer should be like this. The lightest element is scandium, having the density 3.1 gram per centimeter cube, and then heaviest element is iridium and osmium. Now second question, transition metals and many of their compounds. So paramagnetic behavior, why? So this I also told you that this is due to presence of unpaired electrons. The answer is, it is due to presence of unpaired electrons in d orbital. They are paramagnetic in nature. Now third question, the paramagnetic characters in 3D series increases up to chromium and then decreases. Explain. So this you can know about the electronic configuration. So look about the answer. The number of unpaired electrons increases from scandium atomic number 21 to chromium atomic number 24. To look about the electronic configuration of scandium, Ar D1 4s2 to chromium Ar 3d5 to 4s1. That means more the number of unpaired electrons belong to the chromium. So that's why the paramagnetic characters of chromium is much more in 3D series. Then goes on decreasing continuously to Zn, that is atomic number 30, having the electronic configuration argon D10 4s2. Here the D10 means all electrons are paired. That's why zinc is diamagnetic, not paramagnetic. So that's why the reason, that is by looking at electronic configuration you can find that the paramagnetic characters increases in 3D series up to chromium and then decreases. Now dear students, why chromium, Mn and W, that is tungsten, are very hard metals, but Zn, Cd and Hg are not hard. This I also told you, the more the number of unpaired electrons, more will be the metallic bonding and more will be the bond strength. So look the answer, as the number of unpaired electron increases, number of metallic bond increases, strength of bond increases, and hence hardness increases. So because chromium, Mn and W had maximum unpaired electrons, and Zn, Cd and Hg do not have any unpaired d electrons. So that's why they are not much hard as chromium, manganese and tungsten. Now dear students, some question for you, self-assessment test. Question number 1. Transition metals have high melting points and boiling points. Why? You have to write the answer by yourself after listening the PPT video. Then mercury metal is liquid at room temperature. Why? Then explain the large difference in melting points of chromium, that is 1920 degrees centigrade, and zinc 420 degrees centigrade. This you can also find by listening the PPT video. Now again same thing are repeated. Do all work in classwork copy, prepared a note with the help of PPT video and NCERT. Stay safe, stay healthy and keep learning. Thank you dear students.